So let's get ready for today. Let's make a nice cup of espresso because the conversation today is going to be about a lot of things that we don't talk about, our traumas. So, and that is great with a little cup of espresso. I make an espresso in this cup just because this is what we do in Brazil. And some of my clients think it's very funny that I drink coffee from a cup, but that's how we do it. So, ready? Let's go. Okay, now, coffee's ready. I'm ready. Are you ready? Let's talk about traumas now. The theme of the week for my office this past week was about traumas and how they have been sleeping in us and we don't even know about it. I'm very curious about how the brain works, and this is one of the things that really fascinate me and gets me to a different line of thought. And I realized that most of us have issues with traumas, which is very normal. Everybody has traumas, childhood traumas, even sometimes traumas that recently are happening. And sometimes we think we have worked through them, through therapy or through our own mindset or change of behavior or whatever. But in reality, when something triggers that trauma, boom, it comes right up. So one example of it is that supposedly you've had in the past fear of dogs, right? Because maybe you got bitten by a dog when you were a kid or something has happened with you, right? But all of your life, you haven't dealt with dogs because you probably didn't buy a dog because, you didn't want to deal with this trauma or whatever. One day you see a dog coming, and it could be 20 years after that trauma you've had. This dog comes, and then all of a sudden, all of that anxiety, all of those feelings kind of they come up and you realize that you haven't dealt with your trauma. So why am I talking about this? I'm talking about this because I think it's time for you to work through your traumas. So going to therapy is one of great alternatives to do that. Another way for you to work through your traumas is self-hypnosis, or even sometimes working with a therapist that does EMDR, which is a technique that it's eye movement technique that it really, really works through specific traumas. And also you can talk about them and make sure that sometimes you're exposed to it, and how do you feel when you're exposed to your traumas. I find it very interesting how our brain stores different things, and it comes up, and it comes up, and it comes up. And you're like, wow, I thought I dealt with this. I thought, years of therapy, it really worked. And I didn't have this trauma anymore. But your traumas are really never gone. What happens is that they pass from the conscious, which is here, to the unconscious, which is in the back of your brain. So it is stored in your brain. It is just sleeping there. So, and this is what I post also on my Instagram. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, the link is going to be down below. And also if you're interested in hearing more things about how the brain works and what it's, how your brain is developed, like this page, follow me on YouTube, and I'm sure you will get a lot of content about how the brain operates. But anyway, going back to traumas. So traumas are stored, like I've said, in your unconscious. Okay, so whatever you've had happening in the past, and it could be any kind of trauma. It could be very, very serious, and it could be just, a trauma that most people don't consider very serious traumas. I consider every trauma very serious, and it could be any kind of trauma you had. I think that we have to consider, and I think we have to work through them, and I think there's a chance for you to fully recover. storing it in the back of your brain, just always working through. So one thing also that you can do that is quite interesting is breathing techniques. And when you feel your anxiety is coming up, when you feel like you can, oh my gosh, this feeling I have, this anxiety I have, I can work through my breathing. So there's a technique that you can hold, your nostrils, like with your index finger, you hold one nostril and you deeply breathe in and breathe out several times through one nostril, and then you do the other one like that. And when you're driving, it's kind of funny because people are thinking, you're picking your nose, but you're not really. You are breathing, so your anxiety doesn't really take charge of your brain. So this is quite interesting to do. Breathe in, breathe out through your nose, never through your mouth. When you're done breathing through your nose several times, then a big inhale and exhale through your mouth. It is important to do it as well, because that would bring oxygen to your brain, and that would also relieve some kind of stress you're having, some kind of anxiety you're having. Another thing that I'm a big believer, and my clients know that, and you're going to know that too, is acupuncture. I do believe acupuncture works a lot in different areas of your life, but especially in your traumas, especially with anxiety. It does work. You just gotta believe. First of all, you gotta believe. It's like therapy. If you go to therapy thinking, oh, it's not gonna work, it doesn't work. So you gotta go, because your brain, you gotta remember that your brain takes care of everything that happens in your body. Your brain, it's literally, I believe it's even more important than your heart, because your brain really takes charge of everything you do. So when you do anything, make sure that you believe that whatever you're doing is going to work. So when you go to acupuncture, you go thinking, okay, this is going to help me. This is going to be, a great way for me to release stress, to release anxiety, to work on my traumas, and talk to the doctor when you go to acupuncture. Probably is a doctor who's going to perform the acupuncture on you. So talk to your doctor about that. Talk to your doctor about, okay, I'm here to work on my anxiety. I'm here to work on my depression. I'm here to work on my traumas. And they will know exactly points on, in your body that will work, within your brain, and then release that. So I'm a big believer in acupuncture as well. But again, you gotta believe. You gotta go. Whatever you do in your life, you got to put your mind and your heart to it so you can get results. Talking about the traumas that are stored in our brain. So I can't get rid of traumas. Is that what you're saying? That I will never recover from this specific trauma that I've had? Well, you can actually, you work through it. Like I said, you're going to store that in the back of your brain, and you can transform it. There's this technique that I really like, which is self-hypnosis, and there's a lot of people that can do that, a lot of therapists who are trained to do that. And they're actually very good in transforming the fear you have into something else, an image. I do some self-hypnosis sometimes in the office, even doing telehealth with my clients, and it does really work when you change the image you have. For example, so if you were afraid of dogs, so let's give that example again. And so if you close your eyes and you imagine this dog, how does this dog look like? This dog is big and has a big mouth, and it's brown, and it runs towards you. So when you're doing self-hypnosis, we're going to transform that image of the big scary dog into maybe a chihuahua with pink polka dots, with big red lipstick, and that image turns into something different in your brain, and that is going to recreate a different kind of image. Therefore, your trauma is not going to be so scary, and you can have, because traumas are all about images as well. It's what you remember of a situation that does not exist anymore. Even the biggest traumas, they're not reoccurring. So that big trauma that has happened in your life, it's over. It's not reoccurring, but we remember, and this is how the images are still stored in our brain. So this is how we keep on being afraid of things and being afraid of places and things. So this is how you can better work through your traumas, and of course through therapy. So my name is Renata Cerveira. I am a licensed mental health therapist, and I'm here to help you through your journey. If you like, please subscribe to my channel, and also follow me on Facebook and Instagram for more information. I'll see you next week. Let's see if we can make more coffee together. See you then. Bye.